Why make this so small? So you could choke on these things. Well, guess what? I'm still in Michigan, still living in the forest for no reason other than I wanted to see how long it'd be fun. This log has been sitting here since there was a lot of snow on the ground, and it's always in the way, and it's a little bit big just to be rolling around all the time. So I was kind of thinking I'd make some kind of a beam out of it or something, because it's perfectly straight, no knots or anything, and I don't have any use for a 3-foot beam. So how about dice for no reason? I was thinking if I'm gonna make a block, I might as well cut it into pieces and turn it into a giant set of dice. I got only 4 hours or so today before I got to work on other stuff, and the weather finally broke, so I'm gonna chop this up. And even if they don't come out cubes, if they're a little wonky, I don't know, I think that'd be kind of cool. I know, it's a stupid idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway because that's why I'm out here. Got a homemade milling chain on here. If that'll focus on there. That's a regular full chisel chain. They sharpen these down to, I think these are actually at 0 degrees, it looks like. So straight across. They don't cut quite as fast, but it stays sharp a lot longer. And I've milled a couple boards with it, so it's not super sharp. And I'm trying to decide. So let's see, for each cube, I gotta make one cut this way. And then I'll have to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, and those will be like rip cuts. So I don't want to keep changing the chain out, so I'm gonna go for it and just see if this thing will cut through it. It'll be slow, but I don't know. We'll give it a go. Actually, it might have dried out a little bit since I cut it. I'm not moving that onto anything. I cut it right there. It looks like the biggest square I can get out of there is about 13.5. So just to make this thing easy to manage, I'm going to chop the end off just to get some new wood here, and then do 2 slices that are 13.5. Lay them out on something flat, draw the square, chop them up. Make it sound so easy, don't I? Well, I'm going to put a different chain on there. Not only is it slow, but look at this weird stuff it cuts. Like funny little shreds. And is that the sawdust that's smoking? Weird. Yeah, I'm gonna put a nice sharp chain on there. These are some of my favorite days. I just wake up with a harebrained idea and don't have to answer to anybody. Don't have to tell anybody why you want to do it. No reason. Never played dice in my life. But that log clearly has a pair of dice in it. You could tell. I know you could tell just looking at it. Well, this thing should rip through there. Actually, before I cut this all the way off, might as well make a couple more little tables out of this piece and chop those off too. Straighten them up a little bit. Man, this thing cuts fast when it's sharp. Imagine that. Imagine that. All right, 2 dice and 2 tables coming up. $13 3/4. And that's exactly what I cut the width of these, so it'll be sort of square. I mean, in theory. That's big. That's so dumb. Why would you not do this, you know? Think of that. This is going to be a slow cut. It's going to be a weird rip. I'm really glad I did it this way instead of milling it. This is going to have way more character. Everything's not quite square. I think it looks awesome. Oh, they're not bad. They're probably... I don't know, maybe 40 pounds? If you saw the milling video, which I think was the last one or 2 videos ago, I was milling the boards for that table, and now it's become a place to eat, place to get grease all over, place to work on stuff. So I think that's where I'll do this. Actually, I have a grinder bit of my dad's. It has a chainsaw teeth on it. Just thinking I might just mark each one of these out, and then, I don't know, that thing is so dangerous, but it'd be a good way to make like a dent in there. Otherwise, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Man, I hate eating. I hate it. You get into doing something, seems like I'm always starving. You just get into it, you let yourself starve for a couple hours, then you start getting shaky and weak, and you gotta stop and eat something. I would totally just take a pill if it were possible. Good use for a Pop-Tarts box. I'm gonna measure this thing roughly. See how far apart these dots are. But today for lunch, I have pieces of cheese, half an apple, mandarin orange slices, and a big chunk of pork I cooked over the fire last night. Left over. I mean, I could try to make a real meal, but it would take me time. And it's not worth it. I just want the calories. I want the calories and I want to feel full. Always. It's so annoying. It's a very white American thing to say. I'm so annoyed by eating. I just hate that I have to do it all the time. Ugh. got food in me. I'm alright for a couple hours. Actually, I think I'm going to hit all the sides of this with the planer. My favorite tool after a chainsaw. I love this planer. I'm going to burn through a lot of batteries, but that's alright. Some of these edges are pretty rough, so I'm just going to hit them all real quick and get these big chunks off of here. Measure the dots on a dice, and just by chance you can measure the dots on a dice in millimeters, and it almost exactly converts to this in inches. So it's 3.5 millimeters wide is this spot, so it would be 3.5 inches wide. Let's give this a go. Good enough for now. This end grain is about impossible to do this to. Good thing is the end grain was the quick, easy cut, and that's the way the chainsaw cuts best, so they're pretty flat. You know, you just dog the chainsaw in and bring it almost all the way through. These don't need much work. The sides, on the other hand, the chainsaw is not meant to cut that way. That's a ripping cut. Well, you saw how long it takes to cut through it, and it's just tearing wood out. Doesn't do a very good job, so you keep rocking it back and forth all the way down. And those are the ones that are going to need some straightening up, but they're easier to plane than the end grain, so this shouldn't be too bad. Cool. I like it like that. It's almost a cube. That's pretty, I'm not going to say impressive. I'm not impressed with myself, but it's pretty miraculous that they turned out to be that square just cutting them by hand. Alright, do this other one real quick. Actually, I think I'm going to leave them just like that. I think that looks cool with some chainsaw marks in there. That'll do. What is it? Both sides add up to 7. So this side's 1, the opposite side's 6. Not that anybody's probably going to come out here and check. But, you know, you got to have accuracy here. A little dusting ought to do. Opposite of 1 is 6. So this is opposite 2. 3 inches from the corner. Now, to use the scariest tool there is, especially when you're alone in the woods. This thing's like made for cutting yourself open. But I'm going to be as careful as I can. I'm not going to go real deep. I just want to kind of bowl them out just a little bit. Just so there's a little relief to hold the paint in there. And then I'll just flood them with a whole bunch of paint. Man, this stuff is nasty. High heat engine paint up to 2,000 degrees. That's all I had handy here. And man, it smells like chemical death. Just gotta take your time, try not to cut your arm off. I'll probably go back and smooth these out later, but it's only so many comfortable ways to hold this without getting your arm in the way. You just have to keep rotating the block around, but it cuts fast. Do they make a wilderness survival dice making tool? This is slightly time consuming. And I've got to get... Oh yeah, I got nothing to do. I'll be fine. I'll just take my time. Alright, got that one all gouged out. Now, I guess I'll do the other, and then we'll just put the paint on them, and then maybe even plane these edges off and plane the corners off. And then what do we do with them? Nice. Well, that's friggin' awesome. I'm not going to bother planing them off again. Even got some underspray underneath, and I don't know, they look kind of funky. They're just going to sit outside. I don't even know where they're going to go. I haven't really thought about that. Maybe probably stack them on a stump somewhere in the woods. That'd be a weird thing to come across if you're out hiking. But yeah, I'm not going to plane the top or sides or anything. I think I'm just going to just take the sides, like the corners off here. You know what, normal dice have round corners, I think. I don't know, let's try this. I like it. What do you do on a normal day where you live? Probably something pretty similar to this. No, this is just like the definition of play for adults. You learn how to play when you're a kid, you do it instinctually, and then the world beats it out of you. It says everything you have to do has to be for a reason, and you know, on a schedule, got to get a lot done. I like this kind of stuff. Just for no reason, just because it's silly and it's fun. Doesn't hurt anybody. Of course, sometimes you gotta, if you like building big things and loud things and power tools and chainsaws, you kind of got to go as far away from people as you can reasonably in the US, just in order to do stuff like this, and or like this, not get in trouble, not get yelled at by your neighbors. It's okay for me. I don't mind being way out where nobody bothers you, and you know, one day you just wake up and say, I need some dice. It's big dice. That is one done dice. And a mere, it's at least 30 pounds. Might be more. Well, for lack of any other place to put these, I think I'm going to put them over on my tent platform. Might have to make one quick stop on the way though. Alright, here's the deal. If I roll a 1 to a 7, I get to eat 4 Pop-Tarts while I take a shower tonight. If I get an 8 to a 12, no sugar for a day. I don't like that idea. I'm gonna give it a go though. I think that's how I'm going to make all decisions out here from now on. They don't roll very well, but got a 7. Well, there it is. Finished another completely asinine project out here at Ringworm in the Michigan wilderness. Please subscribe if you want to see any more of this stupidness. I try to put out a video every couple weeks if I can, and sometimes more often. But I'd love to hear some ideas too. If you guys can think of anything ridiculous that can be built with a chainsaw and a lot of trees, I'll try it. I got a lot of even more ridiculous ideas I'm going to start working on pretty soon, but it's not going to be too long before the season rolls down and starts getting cold. I intend to stay out here as long as it's fun. And Tito and I came out here and started in February in tents, so I'm not afraid of the cold. I don't mind camping in the cold. I don't know, I may try it. We'll see what happens. If you'd like the video, I'd appreciate it, and subscribe if you want to see more weirdness. Appreciate it. Thank you.